Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heart Guided Business. I am really looking forward to today's topic about staying grounded on social media. I struggle with this so much. I feel very trapped on social media because I have to use it for my business and it makes me freaking miserable. So I'm going to bring in Lauren here and she is going to help us to use social media without it destroying our mental health, to put it mildly.
Thank you. I could not have a better introduction if I tried. Thank you so much.
This is the perfect time for this conversation. I'm going to give you TMI right now. I have discovered that one of my PMS symptoms is posting regrettable things on Facebook.
Ooh.
Like consistently I start getting this anxiousness building up in me and I end up typing angry things or not even that angry. I'm not an angry person, but like things where I'm like, why am I picking on this? Why am I getting worked up about this? So
Also, the world is a lot right now. So
there's a lot to be anxious about.
there is, like let's first acknowledge that there is a lot going on and that we can, be anxious about a lot of things. Okay. Ooh, would love to dive into that. Before we go there, is it okay if I just kind of like
Yes, you should tell people who you are.
I'll tell everybody. Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren Litt. My company is Lil Shameless Plug, and we help people remove the anxiety of social media from their businesses. So we have everything from full on, we do it all for you services to my little social media magic sessions where I work with you in creating your content so that you have that anxiety to the side so you can get back to the business of running your business. When I started my business about 9 years ago, I did not know that this was going to grow. I didn't even know that social media, I knew it was powerful, but I didn't understand how much of our world and how much of connecting on the day-to-day would now be through social media, which I think leads in perfectly to where we jumped into the conversation, is that we now have multiple ways of expressing ourselves. We're not just talking to friends or picking up the phone, that there are ways we can market, our own internal thoughts and feelings. And how do we do that and still feel like we're not going to go back and be like, I was a little unhinged yesterday. Maybe I should.
Yeah, that awkward feeling where you're like, oh, I really overshared last night.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was yeah.
And now it's on the internet for
Yeah.
millions of people to see.
I have a phrase, don't tweet when mad. Like, let's just not go there. So if it's all right, Carolyn, I would just love to jump in today and use you as the guinea pig for your audience, since you have the social anxiety, if that works.
All right.
And let's talk about how you're currently showing up and how maybe we can adjust that so that you have a little more, and I'm sorry, my dog has decided to chew her loudest toy. So if it's annoying you, let me know and I'll take it away from her.
I can barely hear it.
Okay, great. So yeah, is that all right if we?
Sure.
Great. So let's take a step back. I know you have anxiety around social media because we've talked about it before. How often are you posting? You've got these lives going on, which is fantastic. Like, how often are you showing up? And is that more or less than what you would like to be doing?
The biggest struggle for me in social media has been inconsistency. So it really depends. I know in theory all of the things that I should be doing. It's the things that I advise my clients to do, of course, because I make funnels and you've got to bring traffic to those funnels. Like they don't work without traffic. So social media is a great way to do that. So I'm like, do this, and this. But when it comes to doing my own, if I sit down and like pre-plan and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this mix of promotional with educational, and I'm going to have this many posts per week and on these channels, and I can lay it all out for a month or two at a time. But then it inevitably runs out, and I have not prepared for that eventuality. And then it's weeks and weeks of nothing, which is definitely not the right thing to do.
Now, the beauty of this conversation is, like you said, you help people build really good funnels. and social media is part of that funnel work. I had a thought there, and it's Monday and a holiday, and it disappeared. We're going to go back to it when it comes back to me. Here it is. The question I ask people when we start to work together is, where do you want to be in a year? So like your funnels are really important, but for your social media presence, what's the big goal around it in a year's time? Like if you were to look back and be like, yeah, this is what I put time into and this is what I got out of it, and that was great.
That's a really good question. Everything you do online should have a goal. Everything you do online for your business should have a goal. So that is something that I probably should have put more thought into. I think I fall into the trap that so many people do of thinking like, grow a following. That will inevitably lead to sales. Like more followers is more good, which we know is not always the case and not necessarily where to put your focus on. But yeah, I don't really have any concrete goals other than I would like to meet people who are aligned with my thoughts and values and bring them back to my webpage.
Great. Okay. So the goal is increasing traffic to your website. Okay, yeah. Great. And I'm taking notes as we go so that, as I said, it's a holiday.
So that when I hire you to take this over for me, you'll be prepared. Because if I never had to go onto social media for my business, I'd be okay with that.
We're down. Let's talk. Okay, so increasing website traffic is the end goal. So you said a lot of things in that, which I would like to talk to your audience about. One is the shoulds of social media. That inconsistency is your big issue. And we talked about some vanity metrics, those follows and likes. So let's break those things down. One, all the things you should do. I wanted everybody to take those shoulds with a giant grain of salt, because those shoulds come from people who are social media managers who spend all day, every day. And if they're like me, they also have a team of 6 behind them doing social media. You do not have time to fulfill all of the shoulds. And luckily, you don't have to. Because we get to learn how the different social media platforms work, we can dial up or down the amount of content that you need to do on a social media platform to get the goal that you want. To get website traffic, you don't have to post 4 reels a day. In fact, reels probably aren't really going to impact the end goal of website traffic at all. Because, sorry, I jumped into Instagram because that's where a lot of people.
That's my favorite.
That's your favorite. Okay. That's where a lot of people are asking me questions these days. But when we hear all of these things and we think, oh my gosh, that's so overwhelming. Well, let's look at the goal of what that content is. Does that help your end goal, which is website traffic? And then we can figure out how often you might want to do those based on the end goal. So we can literally, once you understand how the game is played, and I look at each social media platform as a different game. LinkedIn, which I know we're streaming on right now. Hey, LinkedIn.
Yes, and I was going to say that's an important one to my audience. A lot of people in my audience use LinkedIn. So
LinkedIn is very, very different. LinkedIn is, I like to call it one of the secret social media platforms because it is so powerful in getting conversions. And so people get really excited about Instagram. It's pretty, it's shiny, it's cool, but LinkedIn gets better conversions. If we want to drive people to your website, maybe we are replacing, I'm going to say the term hero platform. And to me, that means the platform that you're putting most of your energy and time on. So if right now, most of your energy and time is Instagram, but we know conversions happen more on LinkedIn, we're going to make LinkedIn actually your hero platform and then put Instagram as a
purpose things to the other.
Exactly. We're going to be like, okay, this is good to have, because if we're looking at the global picture, which I know you do with your work as well, every place you're posting online and all social media platforms are online, that's all helping with your overall SEO, getting your content found more. So the more platforms you can be on, great. But we want to make sure it's really good quality content that has consistent posting. Okay, so that was kind of my talk about the shoulds, the inconsistency. So on any social media platform, there are 2 important things to form the perfect partnership: content and consistency. If you have really, really good content, but you only post it, like you said, like a couple months, and then you fall off the planet, and then maybe you come back in another month, that's not going to help your social platforms. You're not going to see consistent growth. You're not going to see consistent traffic to your website. But if we've got, okay, I like to say begin with the end in mind. If I know I only have the time and energy because I know you have children, you have a full business, you have a husband, like all of these things are happening in your life. If we know, okay, I have the energy to put together really like 4 amazing posts every month. Well, I would rather you do that and have that consistently happening than have you be like, okay, I'm going to create 2 months of content, all in a day, and we're going to have it run out and it's 3 posts a day and all this stuff is happening. And then, oh yeah, my life happens, so I'm not able to get back to it. Let's begin with the end in mind. So if that
Yeah, for a month does sound doable.
Yeah.
I have to figure out how to work in promoting this podcast though too. I'm
Great.
recording twice a week now, so it's like, oh, I got to post about that on Instagram. Oh, I got to post about that on Instagram.
So let's talk about look into the numbers. So if we're saying, okay, you've got your podcast, you have what are your platforms?
Mainly LinkedIn and Instagram.
And Facebook group, right?
Yeah, Facebook is like, I hate Facebook, but I feel like I have to be there.
Oh, let's talk about that. Why do you feel like you have to be there?
I say that as this streams onto Facebook too.
Yeah. Hi, Facebook.
For me, they're gonna come and I don't know, hide this video and make it impossible to find or something.
Yeah. Why do you feel like you have to be on Facebook?
There's so many people there. There's a lot of connections to be made, and I do find it helping to grow my business and meeting people who become clients in different groups. And so I try to get away from it, but it always ends up dragging me back in one way or another.
So you are finding that you're having good conversion into clients, good conversion into website traffic from Facebook?
Yeah. I mean, it's not it's not like I'm going to brag and be like, I get 25 leads a day from just posting in one Facebook group with no ads. Like, it's not that style of successful.
Yeah.
But I think I've gotten 3 clients through posting on Facebook groups, and what I do is a pretty high ticket service. So I was like blown away. I'm running up to my husband like, you will not believe this. Somebody on Facebook hired me.
And are you finding those same conversion rates on LinkedIn?
I haven't dedicated the effort to LinkedIn that I know I should, because the people that I want to reach are definitely there, but I'm still kind of
you don't have proof
used to thinking of it, because I think a lot of us who maybe people who aren't entrepreneurs anyway think of LinkedIn as, oh, why would I go there if I'm not looking for a job? That's what it's for.
Yeah.
And it's so much different than that now. 10 years ago, maybe that was the case, and it's really developed, but I'm still like getting used to that and figuring out what my strategy is going to be on there.
Yeah. So I mentioned LinkedIn is one of my favorite secret sites because the conversion rates are so high. My favorite underused platforms, Pinterest, and LinkedIn, and YouTube. Those 3 are such powerful SEO tools. They're great conversion tools. If you have any kind of product that you're selling, whether that's a course or a glass or lipstick, like Pinterest, you've got to be on there. It's the #1 sales conversion platform. And YouTube just has such incredible SEO behind it. So you are going to be found. More people are going to come to your website, find out stuff about you from YouTube. So I would definitely be interested in you looking more into LinkedIn. Although, one, because you've got this anxiety around Facebook. And again, I think if we can remove anxiety, even though you found clients on Facebook, if you played in LinkedIn a little bit more, I think you would find the same, if not more, conversion on clients.
Yeah.
So we haven't tested it. Social media, by the way, is all about testing and tracking. If you hear anybody be like, I know everything there is to know about social media, they are lying to you. They are lying. We all only know the snapshot in time that we know. And we're constantly learning and testing and tracking and figuring out,
And
okay.
the social media platforms are always changing. New
Exactly.
features and changes in the algorithms and all this different stuff is always happening. So
And when
someone like you can spend a full-time job just keeping up with it all.
that's literally what I do. Yeah. So and when you hear, oh, the algorithm has changed, what does that mean? What does that mean to you and I?
Okay, so I do go on a bit of a rant with this with people, because you'll see people complain about the algorithm as though it's this like conscious being that has looked out and said, I don't like you. I'm gonna hide everything.
Yeah.
Like it's just a computer program that helps sort and tries to make a better user experience.
Exactly.
Like,
Oh, we're so on the same
out
page
to get
there.
you, because that's ridiculous. Like,
Yeah, we're
if the
totally on the
algorithm
same.
isn't like happy with you, maybe it's because you post bad content. Sorry. But you might have to consider that it's not them, it's you.
Yeah. So when you hear the algorithm has changed, we have to remember the whole goal of social media, which I'm sorry is not,
To
Mark
sell your
Zuckerberg did
thing.
not build Facebook to support your business. He didn't. He didn't. He built it because he's trying to capture people's attention and keep it for as long as possible. So every single time you see a change in the algorithm, it's because they're seeing users are stopping engaging with content for a long enough time to sell them shit. That's what's happening. So we should be grateful every time the algorithm changed, because we're like, oh, they figured out people aren't looking at this anymore. How can I learn that new thing and apply it so that people will pay attention to my stuff?
That is such a good shift in perspective. I love that.
And yeah, it's evil. It's all, they're trying to gather us together. We are the product. They're selling us stuff. But the more people we can educate around this who have really important special messages in the world, the more good voices are on there, the more people like you, Caroline, who are there helping people like figure out their business flows and creating businesses for themselves. Then we are using it for good. Then we are actually changing the world for better. So
And
that's
this is
why
why I knew I had to talk to you, because it's like we have the same mission. Like, how can we support and uplift and grow the voices of the people who are doing good things in the world?
yeah.
Like, they don't know how to market. They don't know how to do any of this stuff. So let's help them get their voices heard.
Yeah. And it feels super overwhelming. Okay. I want to go back to the inconsistency again. So you've got Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. You've got a YouTube channel, right?
I do. I post these interviews on YouTube, and I'm planning to do some more content around more technical aspects of funnel building, like how to create pages in
Cool.
Kartra, that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
it has not reached the top of my to-do list yet.
Great. And that would probably be something that really helped up your website traffic. If our goal is increasing your website traffic when we're looking at everything, like that's something to know. Okay. Are there any other things that you're doing to market your business? And pardon me, I've got.
Well, when you said Pinterest, I mean, when you said like secret hidden, I was like, Pinterest is going to be number one, because it really is such a hidden gem. I love Pinterest. But it's very hungry.
Yes.
You have to post a lot. And I took a course on Pinterest. I loved it, had a great system, and I've been using it with a client of mine. But again, it is really hard for me to stay consistent with it and keep up with it. And then it's like, whoops, I missed a week. Oh, I feel guilty. Oh no, spiral.
Yeah. Because, Pinterest is super hungry. When we are working with clients on Pinterest, we're creating somewhere between 100 and 200 posts a month. That's a lot of content to do. A lot. Now we've got systems in place. And like I said, I have an entire team. There's 7 of us total, but we have systems in place because we know, okay, we can take this piece of content and then we can turn it into 10 different pieces of content. And then we can take those and turn those into 3 different pieces of content, each with different titles.
Yeah. And like, I know how to do it, but boy, do I not have the time to do it.
No, it's huge. It's a huge monster beast. So if we're talking, and we are talking to entrepreneurs, people who are running ourselves, instead of thinking, oh my God, I have to put out 200 pieces of content on Pinterest a month. Again, that's a social media manager saying this is what you should quote unquote be doing. Throw the should away. How can I show up consistently? So that's the question we're going to dive into right now. Let's pick your then just for fun, let's just play for fun. What is your hero platform? And how can we make sure that you're showing up consistently there? And then you can turn that into content for every one of the other platforms, because you got a lot going on here. And maybe we can let go of some.
Maybe that would be nice. I'm always in that process of refining my own funnels. So I have that sense of like, oh, I'm not quite ready yet because I got to make sure that I change this thing around on my homepage, and then I'll be ready. Then I'll be okay to do this and that. But constant process, always refining and testing and optimizing. It's necessary, but it's also, an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
So, I do love Pinterest. It doesn't seem very relationship buildy because it's not really social. So I kind of like that about it in some ways, but I feel guilty for that. I'm supposed to want to talk to people and build relationships,
but also, if you're just helping people, like you mentioned, I want to create this series of videos for my YouTube channel that are going to be specifically around how to build funnels. What if we put Pinterest and YouTube kind of in the same boat? And when you create videos for YouTube, you would create pins for Pinterest, because those are so helpful and you're actually helping people with that content. Are you building relationships? Not on the face of it, but if someone sees it and then clicks and goes to your YouTube channel and then watches the video and now they subscribe to your YouTube channel, you're building relationships.
Yeah, and I've certainly been on the other end of that. I watch people who are putting out content that I find very valuable, and I do feel like I'm building a relationship with them, even though they do not know I exist, which my husband told me is a word for that, parasocial relationship.
Oh, I love that. I mean, that's
my poor 6-year-old just discovered. Are you familiar with Ryan of Ryan's Toys Review?
No.
He is the highest paid YouTuber ever, and he's 7. He started when he was 3 unboxing toys, and now he has an empire. He's on Nickelodeon. He has toys at Walmart and Target. Like, he is everywhere. My kids love him. He's a sweet kid. I like him. It's really surprising he's not more like bratty given his situation.
Yeah, we know.
Like a really well-grounded kid. So one day my son Garrick is like, can we go and do experiments at Ryan's house? I was like, no, sweetie, we can't do that. Why not? Ryan doesn't know who you are.
Yeah,
Ryan doesn't show up at Ryan's house and say, would you like to do experiments?
Yeah, we can't go there because Ryan doesn't know you. Amazing.
But,
yeah, and that's actually
that's
like
a tangent, but
what we're all trying to do. So my background, I went to college actually for political science, and which is so interesting, right? Like we go to college and then we do.
I have a degree in poetry.
Yeah, see?
I say that all the time.
People
are always surprised.
I don't know. It's experience. But I very clearly remember in one of the classes we did this, there was a study done, and it was about human beings and how we connect to faces in marketing campaigns. And what the study was, is it was just a stack of photos of people's faces. And there were quote unquote celebrities thrown in there, heads of state. And this was a global study, heads of state, celebrity, like movie stars, musicians, whatever. And they had their brains mapped. And every time that a celebrity, quote unquote, any of those people that are actually known,
actually recognized,
the brain lights up.
Wow.
And when it's someone you don't recognize, the brain doesn't light up. So what we're doing through our marketing is getting people's brain to be like, oh, exciting. I know that person. Like, that's the whole goal. That's why we're like, show your face, talk, do video.
Branding. And oh my gosh, video builds so much trust and relationship with people. And audio too. I realized I wanted to start doing podcasts because I was listening to a podcast about 5 years ago that was about marketing, and it was 2 people, and they would sit and talk about their digital marketing business, and it was so enjoyable. They had such great rapport, great chemistry. It was like sitting down in a living room with a couple of friends. I loved it so much that when they talked about their program, I went and bought it without speaking to anybody. You know what? that podcast had aired 5 years before and the product wasn't supported anymore. I had no idea that I was listening to something that was not current.
That's another good really lesson is
Very
that
powerful.
it's never too late and you can always reuse content because the internet is connecting with everybody in the whole world and everybody in the whole world doesn't know who you are yet. So reuse, reuse, reuse. Also, nobody's paying that close of attention. So if you have a piece of content that works really well and you switch it up a little bit and reuse it again, nobody's going to be like, you posted that 6 weeks ago. I know you did.
I know. People come to me with that concern. Like, can I post this on both Instagram and Facebook? Yeah, because you have different followers there. The algorithm is showing different things. And again, using myself as a case study, if I ever catch someone doing that, I go, oh, I feel like an insider. Like,
Yep.
I know you so well. I saw it last time you posted it. Or my memory is so bad that I forget that I've seen it.
Exactly. Both things.
I mean, I've watched Midsummer Murders like 4 or 5 times, and I never remember who did it. So.
Yeah, it's delightful. It's so much fun. It's part of the fun of aging. Everything's new again. Okay, so Inconsistency, we talked about that, about how building something that's actually doable, and that's different for everybody. And here's the secret to my plan here, y'all. I'm not saying I want you to post once a week in perpetuity. What I know and what you know is that we are building habits. If we build the habit of posting once a week, all of a sudden that once a week post is going to become really easy. So we're going to be like, I could probably post twice a week. Yeah, I can now post twice a week. And so we are building levels. Social media takes time, and it takes time over time. You know, you're not going to find success this year if you've just jumped on your YouTube channel being like, here we go. It's going to take consistent posting over time in order for you to get what you want. So
me a lot of The Slight Edge, the book about how tiny actions add up over time and how you can really win at something by just being more consistent than the other person.
Yeah. And look, I know this works because when I talk to someone, whether we are working one-on-one together or whether I'm just coaching, they'll come back to me and be like, it worked. And I'm like, I know it works.
Oh my God, it worked.
I'm like, I know it works. That's why I'm not blowing smoke here. So yeah, that's the thing. Now let's talk about Vanity Metrics. So we shared that your goal is increasing website traffic. And then we talked about like, oh, I have to get all these followers. Well, here's the deal. If our focus is followers, our focus is not increasing your website traffic. We want to, and I love sharing the story of Bob. Bob is one of my clients. He's an elder gentleman who runs a olive oil and vinegar store. And at the beginning of the pandemic, Bob came to me. We'd been working together for about a year at that point. And he said, my goal during the pandemic is to not have to let anyone go. I don't want to have to fire any of my employees, you know, with whatever's going on here. And we had a pretty small web presence because Bob is older. He's not really comfortable on social media. You know, that's why he hired me. He's like, I just want you to do it. Like make things happen. I don't care. We had maybe 500 people on a Facebook page because groups were just kind of becoming a big deal then. He didn't have Instagram or LinkedIn or we had a Pinterest page. And that had several thousand followers started and things happening. That's what we had moving in. Those two things are what we had moving into the pandemic. Oh, and a newsletter list. The newsletter list, I think we had like 700 names on his list.
Not bad. Good start.
Not only did he double his income during the pandemic, but he hired one more employee.
Wow.
Through those tiny numbers. And it's because we created such wonderful community with every single one of those members. We didn't have a huge following, but we did have the connection with people and we knew the kinds of things that they liked. So when we would say, hey, this is the new oil, guess what? They would sell out because people were like, oh yeah, we got to go get from Bob. You know, so like that is the power of a list. And that is the power of having your social media really be small and actually be involved. Like for me, I'm launching a new product right now, and go ahead, go look at my social media, y'all. Mine is terrible. It's terrible. And the reason I actually, again, I specifically lean into my anxiety with social media because I never want to be far from where you are. I always want to understand the pain of, it's hard for me to show up for myself on social media. It's super easy for me to do it for my clients. I can do things all day long for them. But if you look at my social media, my numbers aren't huge, but I have, I've grown out my team. We are doing a big new hire in Lil Shameless Plug this year. I'm looking to only bring on a few new clients, and I'm just starting that outreach process. And I'm convinced by August, we will be full again. So you don't have to have a lot. You just have to be focused on what's my goal, increasing website traffic. How can I use the numbers I already have, really, really create engagement and make that happen? I do have a training around this, which is, I call it my daily fit. It's your daily workout. Facebook.
I'm already not working out.
But it's your daily workout on social media. So there's a video for Facebook, a video for Instagram, and a video for Twitter. And if you sign up for this, what you're going to get is 5 videos for me talking about your analytics and how you can actually, without posting another single thing, build your engagement today. So that is really, really cool and really special. The Daily Fit, if you want it, you can go ahead and jump on any of my platforms and find that.
Yeah, I need to edit the show notes to have some links for you.
Yeah, totally. I've got a new lead magnet funnel, since that's our conversation. It's not quite ready yet. But this one, literally without posting a single thing, I just go on and engage. Most days I'm doing my Daily Fit engagement of respond, reach out, and review. And that's how I keep consistent. That's how my numbers still grow a little bit here and there. That's how I'm actually getting new clients. I'm not really posting that often, and you can tell. Okay. So we talked about all of those things. I want to do one last thing, because we talked about potentially letting go of a social media platform that you're already on, because maybe you look at the numbers and you're like, oh, actually, I'm not really getting conversions from this in the goal that I want. Or I just have so much anxiety around Facebook, I don't want to be here anymore. If one of those things applies to you, here is my hack. What we do is we go in and we make sure all of the information is updated. It's it's your current website. If you have your email on there, it's your current email, that it's updated as to how people can find you. And then you write a post that says something like, hey, I'm not on Facebook very often. If you would like to follow me, here's my LinkedIn page, or here's my Instagram page. I post there all the time and I look forward to seeing you. That way, when someone shows up, because when someone Googles your business name, all of the platforms are going to be there. And if they love Facebook, they might click on that first. And then they go, oh, she's not here. Oh, she's on Instagram. Cool. I'll go follow her over there. So you're funneling the traffic to the place where you are, that is your hero platform, while you are only able to, put so much effort into something. Easy. And then you get to remove that, I should of all of those platforms from yourself.
I like it. Maybe I'll only show up for my favorite people secret group that this is being streamed to right now.
Secret group.
Because people said you need to have a Facebook group, right? And I already knew that I don't want to have a Facebook group. I'm not going to be good at it. I'm not going to stay with it. So it was just sort of hanging there. And then one of my clients had a great suggestion that I don't think this was exactly how she intended it, but my brain went, oh, I am just going to invite all of the people that I love into this group. My clients, my people that I've had virtual coffees with, people that I've interviewed, just people that I like. And we'll just hang out there. We can be promotional and stuff because it's a small group of people that I all know.
Totally.
So that group I will hang on to, and you guys are super special.
Super special. And that's what, each of the platforms has its amazing ability. One of the great things about Facebook is you do have the ability to connect on such a great level, and for other members to connect. and help each other, since you're all probably in the same process working on funneling. You can share questions and have peer review, and that's all awesome with the Facebook group. But yeah, if you don't have a clear reason why, like, bye-bye, let go, not important. I am not the person who's going to be like, you have to be everywhere doing everything, because I know it's not going to help you in the long run. And that's really what I want for you and everyone else that you work with to do, is to help people in the long run.
Utilizing the followers that you already have is such a great message, and we don't put enough thought and effort into the engagement and the relationship building with the people who are already here and already asked to be part of our world. So
yeah, I mean, I like to do the thought experiment. Here's my little office, right? Welcome to my office, y'all. I can't fit all of my followers into my office. If I were to take every single one of my followers, and again, my numbers aren't big social media standard wise, I literally couldn't put them in here.
Yeah, so, like 150 people. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. So like, let's engage with the people you have. And I'm telling you, the way we do anything is the way we do everything. If you start engaging with those people, your numbers will grow, because they're going to be like, oh my gosh, you've got to go over to Caroline. She shares the best content. It's not very often, so it doesn't bother me. That actually might be a bonus for your clients. Like, you're not always in their feed. They don't always want to see you, So like, think about that.
Don't take that advice about email.
What?
Don't take that advice about email.
No.
I'm always telling people they don't email their list enough.
Oh yeah, no, you've got to email your list.
Not to bother, and then they email like once a quarter when they have a promotion, and they're
no. This is a different thing. This is a different thing. And again, like I shared my secret, my goal is to get you started, because I know if we get you started in a really consistent way, it's going to be so easy for you to dial it up. It's not going to feel overwhelming. And if you've ding, my computer says, if we've got you started, then you've got clients coming in, then you can afford to pay someone like me to take it over, because you're like, it's too much work. Now someone else can take care of it for me. So that's my goal. My goal is just to get everybody to the point where they don't have to do it anymore. Like, I'm just helping you through the hump.
That's a genius funnel, because a lot of times I say your free content, your early content should be something that helps get people ready for your paid offers. Is there something they need to know or to have before they're ready to say yes to it? Like, give that to them, help them become that person. My friend Evans, who does podcast Sales Machine, he says, create your ideal client. Don't go out and find them, create them. So it's just like that. I think it's
so funny, because I had such like compare and discount for so long. I was like, I shouldn't be telling people about social media. I hate social media. Like, I do it for my clients, but like, all of this feeling is how I feel about social media. And then I was like, oh wait, that is my perfect client. Other people feel like this too.
Oh, that's such a good point too. Leaning into the things that make us feel vulnerable and insecure. Cause it's like, oh, wait a minute, that's kind of your superpower, because you relate to other people who are experiencing the same thing. There's no way that you are the only person who feels whatever it is.
No, unfortunately and fortunately, being a human, we are experiencing things uniquely in our own time, but we are not experiencing something nobody else has ever felt before.
There have definitely been times in my life, especially as a teenager, where I was like, no one else has ever gone through this before.
Angsty. I mean, I'm an actress, so I had very angsty teen years. I was very so. There's one other special treat I want to offer your audience, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
Great. So in the month of June, I'm offering free social media audits. So just similarly to like we did here, let's look at your whole plan. Let's figure out where your hero platform is. I would definitely love to share that with your audience. There's 30 sessions on the books available, so I will send you that link as well. So,
all right. Yeah. You can send me an email with all the links that you want, and I'll put them up when I upload to YouTube and Anchor. And
awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any final social media questions?
Oh, this is my opportunity. What do I want to ask? Anxious.
That's grounding. Let's talk about that.
Yes. Good idea.
So I very much believe that social media is harmful. the reason we have anxiety around it, the reason we started this conversation with you saying like, okay, I get really upset and then I post on social media and now I've got regrets on social media and there's all this stuff around it. I have very solid grounding habits built around my social media because I know before I get on and after I come off, I'm not in a good mental space. So there are 3 things that I do pretty consistently before and after I come on social media. And there's other things that happen as well, and you'll build your own grounding habits. But the 3 that are my go-tos are: 1, I walk around my yard and look at plants. It's kind of like a meditative walk. And not like my yard mostly right now is weeds. So weeds are also included in that. But,
Beautiful dandelions.
the beautiful dandelion there that came over from the neighbor yard. But that just really, for me, I just am aware, it brings me into the present space. How does this look like today? Oh, there's a new little leaf. Like that really, it's outside, which is a really important piece of a grounding habit. And it's something I can do in like 5 minutes. I walk outside, cool, I'm back to work. Make a cup of tea. Again, this is a physical thing. You could also do coffee or pour yourself a soda. And what I'm doing there is I'm feeling the heat of the mug, when I pour in the hot water, the smell of the tea as it comes out. It takes 3 minutes for that to steep. So I'm really having to like be there and be present and wait. And the other thing, which is kind of like my meditative walk in the garden, I take my dog for a walk. That shifts me. It gets me out of this little office where I spend almost all day, every day. I get out, I'm back in the world, I'm feet on the ground. I try not to listen to music or podcasts or anything during like an actual grounding walk, because I'm just trying to bring myself back into the physical space that I'm in. So when you are especially PMSing, and by the way, there's so much new and interesting research done on how estrogen affects us and affects our brain and affects our.
I'm not available, Garrett.
Oh, we watched one episode of Bluey. I know.
Okay.
We watched another one.
Okay, well, I'm still not ready, so go talk to Daddy. I forgot today was a holiday.
We all did. and that is why you have a business at home, because you got kids and you're able to do all these things.
Anyway,
so when you are feeling all that angsty stuff, take a beat before jumping on social media and do some kind of grounding habit. This also could look like if you have an adult coloring book, or if you enjoy reading or writing poetry. It's anything that is going to kind of activate happiness and being in the physical moment with yourself. Do that before and after you get off social media, because afterwards, you're stuck in the scroll, and that can be forever. And don't beat yourself up about that. There are experts who literally know how the brain is mapped. Their entire goal is to get you stuck in the scroll. Their entire goal is to keep you
They're really good at it.
They're really good at it. They're really, really, really good at it.
I'll be like my husband, I'm trapped on Facebook. Come help me.
I can't get out. It's real. And so then doing something afterwards, even if sometimes it's just, I'm just set my desk to write. So I'm just reorganizing my desk, like really physically get back in your body, both before and after. And that's going to help you from 1, posting things you don't want to post, but 2, letting go of that universe that doesn't really exist, and bring you back into the physical realm that we do exist in, with the people that we love and that we want to be with.
I love the idea of taking a little walk around my backyard. I'm not a big fan of exercise, so don't like taking real walks, but I could definitely see how like stepping outside for a couple of minutes could really shift my brain space. Just fresh air and nature, and like I think that would pull me back into like reality.
It's really important. And if you work in an office or a space where you don't have outdoors, find a potted plant that you like, that you can bring into your office with you, and then you can, like, I've got my little one right over there.
What?
It just had a new leaf come out. Like literally you just look at it. What?
So proud of it.
I am. I'm proud of my plant. But like, yeah, like you can look at the leaf, check the water level. You know, there are things you can do. Plants are great, like, because they don't talk back. As,
all the reasons plants are better than children.
main reasons, yes. You know, and they really, there's a lot of research again behind how gardening and planting, having your hands in soil physically shifts your brain and actually helps healing happen. So super great.
That is wonderful. I love that.
All right. Well, I don't know if there were any questions. It's a holiday. Nobody came up, but I would love to share those free social media audit sessions. This is 2022 of June, y'all. So if you are in June of 2022, there's free social media audits.
I would say May, but May ends tomorrow. So I guess that. Yes. And this video will live on forever on YouTube. So
yes.
You might be watching this from years in the future.
Yeah. And if you have, let us know. We'll be so happy to hear from you.
We'll still be here plugging away, doing our business.
In our little offices.
Oh my gosh. My dad was like, he does my taxes, and he has been so reluctant to take a deduction for my home office. He was like, do you really use that office? I was like, Dad, I never leave it. This room is it. I'm here all of the time.
All the time.
The only reason you don't see that is because when you visit, I make an exception and bring my laptop down to the dining room table. But when you're not here, I do not leave the room.
No. Yeah, it's been really hard for me because I do that here. I'm an actor, so I do like self-tapes. That's also in this room. Like everything I do all day long. I've got my audio closet right there. Like everything I do all day long is in this room. So I've had to realize like, oh, if I'm searching the internet for fun or like looking at plants or something, I have to take my computer out of this room. Otherwise, why do I have a rest of a house?
Why am I paying for this whole house?
This entire house. Why did I buy it? I just need a room. Yep.
Well, all right. On that note, I will end our broadcast here, and thank you to everybody who has watched or will watch. This was a very productive conversation, so thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Stay social happy.